Because my videos start after I'm already on the run, I feel it is necessary to give some insight into my background and the reason why I ran. I will not discuss specific details as to why I ran, because I'm contractually bound not to discuss particulars of the settlement agreement. Because of the final settlement in my 18 months of running, I actually made more money than the past 5 years of employment. Pretty much my entire adult life, I worked in the corporate world. I built a successful company that specialized in financial and security audits, as well as employment interviews and prospective client investigations. This was my life for about 15 years, until one day I was served with a civil lawsuit. The next 2 months of my life was spent day in and day out with meetings, deposition hearings, discoveries, and everything related to pretrial preparations. 2 days before the trial was supposed to be set, I was leaving a firm when I was stopped in the parking garage, and the individual told me that the company board was fighting amongst themselves because several board members wanted to pursue criminal charges. Little did I know that 2 board members were already talking with prosecutors and have been since the beginning. The next day, before lunch, my lawyer called me and he said that the depositions for that evening had been postponed and not rescheduled. I was having lunch with a friend of mine, so I immediately went to my apartment and took everything of value to my storage unit. I mailed all of my personal electronics and personal items of value to my ex-wife. I then went and withdrew the remaining balances out of my accounts. I made a hasty plan to run. The plan was to drive about 12 hours nonstop to a major city which I had no connections with and live among the homeless until I could put together a sustainable long-term plan. I left that evening about 7 p.m. 8 a.m. the next morning, there was a search warrant conducted on my apartment and an arrest warrant was issued for me. About 2 a.m. that morning, I was on the road. I was about 5 hours from my destination when I struck a deer on the highway, causing the car that I was driving to run into the median and flip on its top. I sustained multiple injuries, what I thought was a broken nose and a dislocated shoulder. Even though the car wasn't directly linked to me, I removed the tags, insurance, and registration card from the glove box. Because of the damage to the vehicle, I wasn't able to remove most of my provisions out of the trunk. And in my condition, I probably couldn't have carried them anyways. So I grabbed my inch bag and all the provisions that I could access and physically carry, and I hit the nearby woods. I made it about 3 miles before collapsing in an abandoned barn near the roadway.